Fifth Money Laundering Directive, AMLD 5, and its amendments. The Fifth Money Laundering Directive, AMLD 5, is a significant piece of legislation that aims to strengthen the existing anti-money laundering (AML) framework in Europe. It introduces several amendments to the previous directive, AMLD 4, and expands the scope of AML regulations across various sectors. In this tutorial, we will explore the key changes brought about by AMLD 5 and its impact on financial institutions and other affected entities. Beneficial ownership. One of the key provisions of AMLD 5 focuses on enhancing transparency in relation to beneficial ownership information. It requires EU member states to establish centralized registers that contain accurate and up-to-date information about the individuals who ultimately own or control legal entities, such as companies and trusts. Financial institutions and other obligated entities will be required to access these registers to perform customer due diligence (CDD) checks. Virtual currencies. AMLD 5 also extends the scope of AML obligations to include virtual currency exchanges and custodian wallet providers. These entities are now considered obliged entities and are subject to the same AML requirements as traditional financial institutions. This means they must implement robust CD measures, monitor transactions, and report any suspicious activities to the relevant authorities. Enhanced due diligence. Another important aspect of AMLD 5 is the introduction of enhanced due diligence (ED) measures for high-risk countries. Financial institutions and other obliged entities will need to conduct additional scrutiny and risk assessments when dealing with customers or transactions involving countries identified as posing a higher risk of money laundering or terrorist financing. Prepaid cards and e-money products. AMLD 5 introduces stricter regulations for prepaid cards and e-money products. Providers of these products will now be required to conduct CDD on their customers, apply transaction monitoring measures, and report any suspicious activities. Limits on anonymous prepaid cards have also been introduced to prevent their abuse for illicit purposes. Powers of Financial Intelligence Units (FIUS). AMLD 5 grants enhanced powers to financial intelligence units (FIUS) in EU member states. FIUS play a pivotal role in combating money laundering and terrorist financing by receiving, analyzing, and disseminating information to relevant authorities. AMLD 5 strengthens their ability to access information, cooperate with other authorities, and request additional information from obligated entities to support their investigations and analyses. Administrative sanctions and criminal offenses. AMLD 5 harmonizes the administrative sanctions for AML breaches across EU member states. It introduces a robust framework for penalties, ensuring that breaches of AML regulations are subject to effective, proportionate, and dissuasive sanctions. Additionally, the directive specifies certain criminal offenses related to money laundering and terrorist financing that need to be punishable by criminal penalties. Cooperation and exchange of information. Cooperation and information exchange between financial intelligence units and other competent authorities are crucial in combating money laundering. AMLD 5 reinforces the obligations of member states to exchange information, cooperate effectively, and establish mechanisms to ensure the exchange of information is swift and secure. Monitoring and supervision. AMLD 5 emphasizes the importance of effective monitoring and supervision of obliged entities by competent authorities. Member states are required to establish mechanisms that ensure the proper supervision of financial institutions, virtual currency exchanges, custodian wallet providers, and other entities covered by the directive. Regular assessments and inspections are mandated to ensure compliance with AMLD 5. In conclusion, the Fifth Money Laundering Directive, AMLD 5, reinforces the anti-money laundering framework in Europe and introduces several amendments to enhance transparency, broaden the scope of regulations, and strengthen the powers of relevant authorities. Financial institutions, virtual currency exchanges, and other obliged entities must familiarize themselves with the provisions of AMLD 5 to ensure compliance and contribute to the fight against money laundering and terrorist financing.